It's the 19th of February 2019. I'm David Griffin. I'm at Youlgrave Lodge Cricket Club and I'm talking to
Peter Abbott,
Frank Richardson,
Dave Tarlton.
Gentlemen, we've covered a lot of ground so far, but what I want to talk about now, perhaps the lighter side of the game. I know from comments you've made to me off camera, we got one or two little stories. First of all, you mentioned you have an annual fixture against Chatsworth Ladies, is that right?
Yes.
How did that come about?
I phoned their secretary and he said, our ladies, I think I did it through him, our ladies are looking for some friendlies. I said, oh, we'll have one with those.
one we might win.
I was looking for a win. Anyway, we played them a few times since, but the first one was at Chatsworth.
Lovely.
Yeah, he was superb at
Absolutely,
Chatsworth.
yeah.
It's just a delight to go there, isn't it?
Yeah, and
Did you win?
yeah, I felt guilty because I scored 50, and your Drew came in and he smashed them all over the place. He scored another 50, and I felt sorry for them, and they weren't that good, to be honest, but they did strengthen in the years to come. And we beat them quite easily, but they made some lovely tea, a lovely tea for us.
Not enough.
And I brought someone from where I was working at the time. It was DWP, and he came to watch, and I introduced him, and he'd gone missing. And anyway, I was looking for him, and I wandered in past there where they prepared the tea. And there he was, stuffing himself a chocolate cake. I said, John, you've not paid for that, you bounder. He said, it's nice though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Peter, you don't tour as such, but I know you've got a relationship with a club from some distance away that you visit. They come to you.
Buckinghamshire, isn't it?
Right, okay.
What was their name?
Monk and
Oh
Hadley.
yeah, because I can never remember whether it's Monkton or Monken, but it's
And where's that?
It's Monk and Hadley in Buckinghamshire.
Buckinghamshire, right.
And they come up and they do a tour of the peak. They play about 3 games, I think.
Thursday,
And-
Friday, Saturday, isn't it?
Yes, and they
we're
come
the
up-
Thursday.
We're the first game, aren't they? And
How
they
did that relationship begin then?
I think.
I had an
He
email.
started it.
Yeah,
Right.
Fixtures secretary.
yeah, I had an email, and they were looking for a team to play during, as Pete says, that during their tour of Derbyshire.
Yeah.
And I got corresponding with the secretary, and we arranged a friendly, and it all took off from there, didn't it?
It's a bit hard finding people on a Thursday afternoon. You know,
Yeah.
getting the time off work.
We had to have time off work.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that fixture continues.
Yes.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
does,
So,
doesn't it?
and you go there.
Yes, we go down there now because we thought, well, they seem to have a wonderful time having a tour,
Yeah,
don't
they invited us, didn't
they?
they?
Yeah, so we thought, well, when they invited us, we'll go down, and we go down and they stay overnight, and they play 2 games, one on the Saturday, one on the Sunday before they come home.
Yeah.
And I think everybody has rather a lot to drink, and it's good fun. But when Monk and Hadley stay here, it's good because obviously they give a lot of employment around here because they stay in all the pubs and inns about throughout the village, and then they drink the proceeds from the day when they've played us, because when they come out to play, if anybody on their side makes the slightest mistake, the captain makes a note of it, and when they get in the pub afterwards, he hands out fines to all of them to pay for all the drink. And it's terrific to watch when their faces drop when they realise what they've got to pay money for. All the
And it's
little
always
things.
our best income from the raffle, isn't it?
Yeah.
When we play there.
Yeah. So it's a great game.
I'm interested also in rivals. I mean, most cricket clubs have a local rival. Anybody that you see as a natural rival, or any clubs you've ever had any bust-ups with, or bits of fun that are mentionable on air?
Well, when we were BT Pensions, we particularly used to not really look forward to playing Bolsover area local government, Balgo they were called. Although the ground's lovely, this is good, but it's at the bottom of the hill with Bolsover Castle up at the top, and it's fantastic ground. And there was often a bit of needle, but somehow it developed, didn't it, into being more friendly. And because I think of having argued with them early doors and shared the wins around us, we eventually became quite friendly and started sharing players a bit as well. So it was to my mind, symptomatic of how good the cricket is around here,
Yes.
how much it's about the ethos of the game rather than just getting out there and getting a win every time.
Yeah. And you mentioned off camera about Abbott Cricket Club.
Yes.
Is that a repeatable?
This was a Saturday game. Yes, and Pete was the star of that. I mean, it was your son who took part in one of our record partnerships with Danny Booker, wasn't it?
Yeah.
We lost, but only just, didn't we?
Yeah, they put on a terrific score, didn't they? And then we had
But-
to go him back. But
The wicketkeeper, who we didn't talk to mention, he had this trick of he was obviously stood up, and he used to knee the stump bails off and claim a stumping, and he did that successfully. I've seen him do that several times. And anyway, Pete, we knew they cheated a bit, but Pete,
I was out on the boundary, wasn't I?
you were out on the boundary. This was after he fell out with an elderberry bush, ran into the elderberry bush and came off worse, didn't you? Yeah. And then he went into their changing room at tea time and gave them what for, didn't you?
Yeah, because they've been
Yeah.
extremely obnoxious.
Yeah.
Verbal
And you
language.
told them so.
Yeah, and they were
Yeah.
very derogatory about the club and everything, weren't they? It was,
Yeah.
The
Oh.
needle was terrible during the game.
You know what the needle was for? It was us returning to the Yorkshire and Derbyshire League after we'd left to join the Bassett Law.
All right.
He had a go at us for that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you put him right.
Yeah, I went in front of him.
Yeah.
Told him off in front of his
Yeah.
face.
And what was the reaction?
Stunned silence.
Oh, really?
Well, I don't think anybody'd been in.
Yeah, it went all quiet and then Pete came out.
Yeah. So well, that's sorted.
And didn't you had a winning run as well?
Yes,
didn't
I
you?
did. That was against Whit Wanderers, wasn't it? In a
Yeah,
midweek
Really
game.
Park.
And my son was at the other end, and it was getting dark, wasn't it? And we had 2 balls to go, was it?
Yeah.
And we wanted 1 run, didn't
To
we?
win.
And their bowler came in, and he bowled. And I thought, well, where's the ball? I know the light's burning. This is instantly. I'm thinking, where is it? And then there's a terrific clang on my helmet, and it dropped out of the sky, hit my helmet, bounced off over the keeper, and Robin at the other end just said, run. So we ran, and they couldn't get to the ball, and we won the game, and I'd headed it.
Yeah, brilliant.
They didn't give a no
Yeah.
ball or anything, so I don't know where this ball had been for about 5
was a
minutes
bye.
before it hit me in the-
Leg by.
Yeah.
And you mentioned again off camera about some nature's invasion, stoats and bees.
Yeah.
Stunts. Yeah.
We were playing a midweek game at Duckmanton Lodge. It was second innings, I think. Twilight.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, we heard this noise, and Pete and I, you were at square leg,
Yeah.
square leg, and I was at mid wicket. These 2 stoats came out of the hedge and ran between us, right to the other edge at the far side of the ground, didn't they?
Yeah. Unusual
Without
stuff.
stopping.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never seen anything like that before.
Didn't stop the play though.
Didn't stop the play, no.
And the bees?
The Bees, this was a Saturday game, a bowler by the name of Paul Ramsden. Nothing worried Paul, but there was this swarm of bees just appeared everything appeared over the hedge, didn't it, at Duckmanton Lodge, the bottom edge. And it was a big swarm, and it came right on the wicket, but he didn't alter his run up, he just bowled straight through them. I've never seen anything like that either.
Did it sting anybody?
No. No.
Well, there we go.
I don't think they dare sting Paul.
I want to look just really about the future and where Youlgrave Lodge Cricket Club goes, and I'm mindful you've already talked about young players being integrated into your first and second 11 and your Sunday team and everything else, but you've also done some work on All Stars, I gather. So can you just tell us a bit about All Stars, how it works and where the young people come from?
Well, we were approached by Derbyshire Cricket Club about running an All-Stars programme, and one of our captains, Rick Podmore, was very keen on it, so we decided we'd give it a go. We knew that some of the other clubs around the area hadn't decided to take it up because I think they thought it was too much trouble, but our view on the committee was that cricket's going to die unless we bring on more youngsters. So we ran the All Stars last year, 2018.
Yeah, coupled with that though, we want the village to be represented on
Yeah.
the field instead of us old codgers coming from Sheffield
Exactly,
and Chesterfield.
yeah.
So yeah, we felt that might put them
Yeah.
in as well.
Yeah. So we had the first event and we only had about 3 people turn up, didn't we?
And
Was
there were
it?
2 more signed up, but the 3 kids, yeah.
Yeah.
And
the
Tom
first
was
week.
here from Derbyshire
Yeah.
Cricket Club.
But one of the parents that turned up could see that it really looked good fun because their child really
Yep.
enjoyed it. So what she did was she got on and she emailed everybody in the village, didn't she?
Yep.
She knew that had children and all her contacts from schools and that. And the following week we had 15.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
we kept the 15
Yep.
right the way
Yep.
through, didn't we?
Yep. And they all want to come back.
And they
this
all
year.
want to come back this year.
That's
so-
excellent.
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
So who runs that on the days? This is in the mornings, I presume.
Sunday morning
Sunday
we do
morning.
it. We've been doing it. Yeah, Ricky Podmore, who's first team captain,
Captain.
isn't he? Yeah, he's the instigating. He's the mover, and his son Liam came a few times, and Peter and I when we were
Yeah.
well, I was
And
out.
then 2 of
well,
our younger
Yeah.
players as well came up, didn't they?
Yeah,
Our
a couple of
juniors.
the village juniors
Came up to
again
help.
live just over the boundary, and they both play for us anyway. But they were keen to help the kids as well, which was good because you know the tinies could see these
Yes.
lads from the village playing already, and we're hoping they can see that as their future.
Yeah.
And is there a challenge to retaining that youth? Obviously, there's other interests that
due to
people
the age
follow.
profile, because they're all quite young,
5 to 8 year olds.
5 to 8 year olds, we've decided if we can keep them this year, which we think we're going to do, we'll then look at quick cricket. They won't be quite the age this year, but next year we're thinking we'll have a go at some quick cricket. We've been out and had a look at some of the tournaments that they hold for quick cricket, and it looks perfectly doable for us as a club. So that'll be the next logical move. And then once you've got them into quick cricket, you can get them through that, and then we're hoping we'll perhaps bring some of them into the club if we can. But we think we're getting some good support from the village really, because like at our annual dinner, club dinner, this year we had some of the All-Stars parents and the families come, didn't we?
Yep.
It's the key part, isn't it?
Yeah,
is the
involving
engagement with
the
the
village.
parents as well.
Yeah, and the parents. Because that's the great thing about All-Stars is that although we're there sort of organising the actual each part of it, the parents are part of it. They don't just dump the kids and leave.
Yeah.
They stay and they take part as well, which is great. So they feel part of it as well,
Yeah.
and they've come up to us and said at the end of it, "Oh, it's really enjoyable." So
Yeah. If there's a
great.
challenge, I suppose it could be the weather, because we don't have an indoor facility to take them to if it starts to tip down with rain. So that's something we need to look at seriously for this year. And we might be able to get a hall in the village, but it's all got to be organised.
Yes.
We were very lucky last year, you know.
Yeah.
As you said, the phenomenal summer. And it
Gorgeous
was
weather, wasn't it?
dry every Sunday morning.
So
And in terms of the overall club, I mean, is it thriving? Do you see yourselves as we move into it's going to be 2020 next year, isn't it?
Yeah.
Do you see continued cricket at Youlgrave Lodge and plenty of people wanting to play here?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, certainly the team we have at the moment has enough people to last a year or two,
yeah,
apart from us.
yeah.
But you know, the first team won promotion last season, so they've moved up a division,
Yeah.
and we'll see how they go. You know, they must stand a good chance of at least staying there.
Yeah. So they're looking forward to that,
Yeah.
aren't they? So yeah.
And as we've said, we play because we enjoy playing, and winning's a bonus.
Yeah,
you know,
I
and
think
I think that
that's the
rubs
thing
off.
about the club, isn't it? The whole thing is it's not so much of the winning; it is the old-fashioned ethos, really, of enjoying yourself on the day, isn't
and
it?
in the spirit of the game.
Yeah.
And if I could conclude, I'm interested in just what the game has given you, what the game means to you and what it's given to you. If you don't mind, Peter, perhaps start with you. You've played and been involved in the game a long
Questions
time.
now, eh? He's been
Well-
building up to this.
For me, because I moved up from Hampshire, I didn't know a soul. My whole family are still, obviously my extended family are all still down south, so I didn't know anybody. And when I came up, obviously you make friends at work. But the biggest influence on me was the social side of the cricket, because it gave me somewhere to go at the weekends and meet other players, and you get to know and you become sort of good friends, and then you get to know people like John, our groundsman, and sort of Storm, so you get really fond of. And for me, it was everything. It was like a real base for my life, really, and it has been ever since I've been up here, like 20 odd years, you know.
Frank?
For me, it just continuation of my youth in a way. You know, when my original cricket boots fell apart in I think about 2003, I decided it wasn't worth buying a new pair because I wouldn't be playing for much longer.
And you still are.
If selected.
Yeah.
David?
Well, for me, when you don't necessarily, when adversity falls, like you haven't got enough players to have a second team, which happened to us, it's not necessarily the end of the cricket world for you, because all we did was use the second 11 on a Sunday and played friendlies. You don't need a league. We did the same with the midweek team. We came out of the Chesterfield and District League and played friendlies. And as Pete said, you meet different people, and it's a friendlier atmosphere, isn't it?
Yeah.
When you play these teams. Village cricket team, it was lovely going out to Tideswell
Yep.
Yeah.
and Baslow and Great Longston. They're excellent, and they for me were the best times that I've had playing the friendlies.
Yep.
It was a privilege and a pleasure to take part in them.
Yeah, you meet people from all walks of life. When you we play Sheffield Taxis.
Oh
didn't
yeah,
we?
yeah. A load of Asians.
And they're terrific.
Yeah,
Lovely.
yeah.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
really good.
But also, when we were in the league, midweek league, which was mostly when I played, we'd have one official umpire, and somebody would have to stand square leg, and I'm quite happy to do that. And inevitably, there's somebody fielding square leg, and lots of really interesting and friendly conversations with the opposition, and I think that helps as well. You can just get on.
Well, gents, it's been a pleasure and a privilege for me to come up to Youlgrave and to talk to people with such a passion for the game. And I wish you much success and much more fellowship and friendship that the game's clearly already given you in the future. Gentlemen, thank you very much indeed.
Thank you,
Dave.
Dave. Yeah.